Testing 1 2, testing. I think we got a little bit of a delay. One of these days I'll learn to set that before I start. This music may be too tame for Bitcoin's price action. Bitcoin has been on a tear today. 3 minutes.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
We got about a 30-second delay on the stream, so if you send a chat message, it will take me about that long to see it and respond. And here we go. It is time to get started. CD says, "What's up, Road Dog? Listening in the background. Glad to have you here, CD." Let's see if we can get this screen changed over. There we go. Man, has today not been interesting or what? Got a lot of things that are taken up today. Biggest thing I was going to go over today is whatever you guys want me to check out, and then go over some of the things I've done videos on, because it's about impossible for me to make as many videos to update those, so it's just easier to do that on a live stream. And I think most of those that I'm going to go over are going to be over on MexC. And I'm just trying to pull all this information up really quick here. And go over to the charts. Been eyeballing this 1 minute chart because I've been doing some scalping, which has turned into a longer trade, and not doing bad. Didn't go super heavy, but making some decent profit on it. And take a look here at 4 hour for Bitcoin. Got my trend line there hiding that big beautiful candle. that looks awesome. We switch over to regular candles, hit the daily, and see what our candle closes look like. Candle closed at 29,625 for today, and now we've just taken off from 29.6 all the way up to 30,000. Did any of you guys think that you would see that number today? Now, the charts were telling me it's a possibility, but I did not expect to actually see that, so I am pleasantly surprised. And that makes me feel very fuzzy inside. It makes me feel very happy, because what's going on is that we had that rising channel here, right? This is actually bearish, should break down, broke bullishly out of it. Usually when this happens, when you see price break bullishly out of a bearish pattern, let's get ready for some really possible parabolic movements out of Bitcoin. And that would bring us over to Bitcoin dominance that we need to take a look at. And if you, I don't know if you saw the live stream today, I did do one when we were covering all this, the Crypto Insight show, that we could be heading up here. We are in a bearish pattern here too. So we could come up with dominance get rejected. And if so, we could be looking at a nice little altcoin season forming. Or if Bitcoin just steals the whole show and we break bullishly out the top of this, man, it is going to be on fire for Bitcoin, and it will literally steal the whole show. But I am really looking for signs that the dominance will get rejected here, and looking for signs of an altcoin season. Total 2 kind of gives us that idea too. It is in the inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's completed that, or it's validated it. It's just got to break up to the upside. So it's going to be interesting. But if Bitcoin gets all the attentions, I mean, alts will go up a little bit, but not as much as we're hoping for. But if the dominance can come down and Bitcoin can kind of trade sideways somewhere, we might see a very interesting alt season. So basically what I'm hoping to see out of Bitcoin is that we will come up and kind of test this area 31.5 in that area. If we can flip that into support, it is on. I would really like to see that happen. And that would give us an opportunity to trade sideways in a range. And that would give us an opportunity for dominance, Bitcoin dominance, to slow down a little bit and then get a nice little altcoin season. So that's overall what I'm looking at as far as Bitcoin and everything goes. And so covering Bitcoin, let's just go ahead and cover a few things that I've done videos on. And trying to figure out what would be the best way for me to do this. Let me just pull up some videos. Let me find my videos. Where am I at? Right here. And I covered audio earlier today, covered Sin, Near. I got most of these. I didn't get ZZ. ZZ was doing pretty interesting. So I'm going to pull that one up really quick. Take a look at ZZ. And let's look at MexC, ZigZag. And when I did the video on that, I pointed out that we were in possibly making this inverted head and shoulders. It did not. It would have to get back up here and confirm that neckline. It did not do that. It fell to the wayside. And that's why that we say, and why I stress, you've got to make that neckline. It can't just be 3 little humps to give you the inverted head and shoulders. It's got to complete the pattern. So this one's a failed inverted head and shoulders. So let's just go ahead and get rid of that, because that is not going to validate or complete or play out. And let's see what we're left with. And I would draw a trend line from there to there. And going to my candle touches, looks like we got a little bit of a fake out there, and a fake out is a good sign for upward action. Come back into the pattern. I am looking for it to actually get up to this, what we were looking at for a neckline. From there to see what it will do. Recycle a few of these trend lines here. We're getting ready for a possible breakout on ZZ. It's had a good day today. It has made some gains today. But the trade that I was initially looking at in the original video did not come to pass. But I don't feel bad about that because I did put that warning caveat on there. One sign that was catching me, inverted head and shoulders. This is your left shoulder ahead, and then you got a bigger right shoulder. Okay, that kind of in itself invalidates the pattern. Ideally, you want to see the right shoulder be less or up higher than this left one, because that's the whole premise of how a head and shoulders works, or an inverted one. This one doesn't get down as low as that one, and that's actually where all the magic happens. Same thing when you're looking at a regular head and shoulders. You want this right shoulder to be less than this one for it to really play out and to have that actual neckline. So just little things to look at, and we can see that that didn't really fit the definition since it didn't come back up to the neckline, and it just kind of failed out. But it's in a good, decent area. It's more of a symmetrical kind of triangle, but since we got this breakout to the downside, I am looking for some more upside there. So maybe a little bit down in there. I'm not sure where my position is on ZZ right now. Am I doing good? I like MexC because it tells me how well these trades are doing. It kind of breaks down my average buy price and stuff. Don't get that on a lot of exchanges. So MexC is slowly winning me over with some of the cool tools and things that it has. So I wish I could show this on screen, but I'm having to do this on my phone. Maybe at some point I'll be able to do that. And where did ZZ go? There it is. I am actually up on ZZ. Looks like my average buy price was 45 cents. So on that one, I'm still good to go. And yeah, I am still looking at targets about 84 cents. Crust Network is one that I really want to take a look at. That one did throw me for a loop. And where are you, Crust Network? Now, when I last did my video on this, when I did the last video, we were over in this area, and I was saying in my video is a very real possibility we could come up and make another shoulder for a head and shoulder. And I structured my plan. I was trying to kind of sell out on this move up and then buy back cheaper, and it just totally just ignored what I was hoping or saw that it possibly could do, and it just went on straight down. So I saw the possibility of it coming down, and we had those targets, but instead of doing a head and shoulders and then getting to them, it just came on down and hit that 786 area of about $1.07, and been trading pretty much sideways since then. It's been very disappointing as far as a trade. However, I'm still very interested in it as far as a long-term hold, and that's what I was doing, is building a bag. But I am in drawdown on this one for the time being. I think my average price, according to MexC, is about $1.65, I believe. So I'm in some drawdown on that, but you know, it plays that way when you're doing spot sometimes. Not a huge deal, but let's see what we've got as far as new targets. And right here, $1.91. Be the main target I'm shooting for, so I'll need to go into my trades and restructure that, so I'll take a higher profit. But that's what I got for Crust. It's just been a little bit disappointing, kind of slow and sideways, but I do really like the project. And overall, I mean, you can actually put it into this falling wedge pattern, and we can take a measured move from that. And it looks like it's wanting to break out. Ichimoku cloud's real thick and green there, or thick and red. And that would take us up to about 241 as a possible target for, that's the measured move target for the falling wedge on Crust Network. So a little disappointing, but it, you know, it's still in good. When you break from these really good pumps, this almost parabolic structure, and I think it was more of a parabolic structure, then we draw a trend line, and when that trend line breaks, my experience just says it's just best to get out as soon as you can and come back and revisit it, because it will take it a while to settle down and find new bottoms and level out and accumulate again. All right, So if you have any requests, just chat me up, hit me up in the chat box. I've got 3 people. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. All right, so went over Crust. Learn how to work this mouse again. Went over YGG earlier today, near ZZ. Went over ORICoin, OPCT, Nexera. Have not went over QNT. So QNT, mercy. Clean this up just a little bit. This one has been a really slow mover, but I mean, you know, it would be, I guess. It's such a big price. Here's what I got from it. We did have a possible inverted head and shoulders thing going on here that we were looking at. Did have a measured move, I think, up here to 160, if I remember correctly. Come down to a smaller time frame to see what really happened there, because that did not play out. That was beautiful. That's a beautiful head and shoulders that just did not do anything. That's rare. If I remember right, I think these are about 65% chance to break to the upside. Actually, I need to commit that to memory. Let's go over here. So any questions you have about patterns, this is the place to go. Now look at this. This is a triple bottom, and this is different from a head and shoulders, even though it looks like a head and shoulders and even has that neckline, right? I mean, you could really say it's a head and, you know, most people would call this a head and shoulders. The biggest thing about this particular pattern is the bottoms are pretty much all on the same level. So that's what differentiates it from a true head and shoulders. I just happen to be on that. Going over here to the index, and we will come down to head and shoulders inverted. There's one on busted ones. See what he says about that. Man, I can't even see what you got going on there. You're trading in a range. So he's doing head and shoulders bottoms now instead of saying inverted. Okay. And he may not even get a percentage on this one. And I am not seeing a percentage on this one. Just have a percentage to beat the target, but that's a little bit different. It's determining which way that it's going to break out, or the likelihood of it breaking down. I thought he didn't have one, but the best of my memory is somewhere around 65%. There are some other sources with some statistics on that. But anyway, it did not pan out here. We got the busted pattern, and it did just like CRU did. Really disappointing. However, you know, stepping back, you can see we're in a downward megaphone pattern, a downward broadening, widening pattern. Easier just to say megaphone. Bearish or a bullish megaphone. When they point down, they're yelling down, "Hey, I need you to come up." That's how I try to remember that. And we've just been riding this trend line, finding support on it, retesting it, and now we're back up to 125. So things are starting to look more promising for this. Measured move for this. Do I have that? I think it's going to be about the same area as that head and shoulders breakout. Put that there. Yeah, I take profit at 150. And you could even put it down here at the retest and maybe about 146 in that area. QNT just being a little bit sluggish. I went a little bit heavier in on this at a different setup. Took somebody else's setup and it did not quite play out. So I've been building a position in this right around this range, anywhere from 100, really right around $115, $119. Just trying to get ready because I see this one doing a pretty decent move. And it did have a very nice all-time high too. So I'm easily looking for maybe about a 4x from this, 4 or 5x, but you know, it could surprise us all with the limited supply it has and the functions that it does. You know, maybe a 10x out of this is what I'm hoping for. All right, 4 people, what's up? Appreciate you all being here.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button.
And hopefully the chat is still working. Sometimes I wonder. Or maybe it's just lack of participation. I didn't have any chats at all in my stream earlier today. But this just seems to be an easier way just to kind of cover all this stuff at once. Next one I'm going to take a look at is TAO. I like that project. And these are all over on MexC, or most of them are. Bittensor. And that one, I think it's got promise. This obviously did not work out right there. And has it been that long? Was it March? Okay. Let's go to the daily here, see what we got. So that little dude is gone. They don't always play out. And that's why that you do want to put your stop losses in place, have an alternative plan. And the best thing I found is to zoom out. But this is one that I was planning on building a long-term hold on, because there's a limited supply on this little guy. So I don't mind that the prices came back down. And actually, if you took the Fibonacci from there to there, came back and tested this 2.7 area, even came back to the 618 area, the target that we were talking about as a possibility. It did come down and hit that. But it's been so long since I made that video, I can't even remember what I said in it. But the setup that I had there looked like it was a failed pattern. It did break out. It did come back up, so it wasn't totally off. It wasn't terrible, but you know, we're expecting to keep going, right? But we still are in a falling wedge pattern. Bittensor is down to $59. Wow. Okay. This seems like a very good price in my mind to get this. However, on the daily, it could have some upward action here, but man, that looks like it's still got a little bit more sideways to come on this one. So this one may take a little while. Maybe a very good accumulation zone for anybody trying to get into it. But an interesting project, I think. And let's go over here to TAO. Total supply is 4 million. Maximum supply 21 million. Those were some things that really spoke to me about this. And this was an AI project. So just kind of interesting what they say here. TAO, I think we need to clarify something in here. People claim to have knowledge here who clearly don't. TAO is a POW chain without any pre-mine. That was one of the things I find very appealing about this. How are you supposed to rug those? Devs don't have any allocation. Second, Foundry, the biggest BTC mining pool, is mining TAO since early days. So what else he says? I'm just reading the comment over here. It's deeply supported by DCG, Polygon Capital, and has many big names we're looking at. Example, Google, Microsoft, AI devs. We've even got the head of AI from their Lambda project mining himself. So obviously, I guess some people were calling this a scam. TAO is one of the few anomalies in the space, and you would have known that if you dive deeper into the AI scene and what's needed there. Another one, this guy's going off. Another thing, TAO has been even slower, has an even slower mission schedule than Bitcoin does. So anyone claiming that the FDV is kind of high, it doesn't matter. You will by far not survive it. Market cap is still extremely low for what they already offer. Just do your own research, and you will see light at the end of the road. Huh. He did have some good points about it that I did like. I do like those fair launches, and they're very hard to find in this space, and that was the secret to Bitcoin. But just one that's on my radar, and I may need to look at putting some more orders in. If we can dip back down to about $51, that would be awesome. Hey, there's Chris. Glad to see you here, Chris. All right, so next one on my list is it's like Azero. I don't think I went over this one in a while. And this is another one that I'm trying to build a position on. Usually look at that on KuCoin. Okay, I think this was the last area that we looked at it. I did fall out of that, but then came back to the other side. Broke out of that bullish pattern and went up. When was this? This was in February. Has it been that long since I've done this? I do have a trend line here, so I had to look at it at some point. When it comes to building my bags and I do my TA and everything, I just set my limits orders and just, wait and see what happens. And it looks like it came down and hit both my targets, so I should have gotten in there. Let me check and see what it says here. What's my average buy here on MexC? It's really cool that they tell you that. I wish the other exchanges would. Just doesn't give it to me in order. I am actually down just a little bit on this. Looks like my average buy price was 145 and we're at 141. That's not bad for building a position. So I must have caught it higher and used these to bring my price down. But Azero looks pretty good. Same targets that we were looking at before, 173, 189. It's just going to take this in a little while. Again, we had this little guy, and they're really exciting when they're going on, when things are going parabolic, and they look like they can go on forever, and technically they can do 5 stages. This one only done 1, 2, tried to do 3 and then fail. Found that so far in this bull market, when they went parabolic, is they usually haven't made it past that 3rd stage. And once that parabola breaks, this is what you get: down and sideways accumulation for a while. So that's why I was trying to stick to that rule, man. If that parabola breaks, I want to be out. And I just kind of double test it by, drawing a trend line, connecting the bottoms on the last leg up. And when that one's gone and then we break down below this, I'm out. But I didn't do that when I was building a position. I think I foresaw that would happen because the parabolas. Just try to keep that in mind when you see when you're buying those green candles and everybody's excited and all that, and those prices are going up. It looks like it can just keep on going forever, or maybe level out and then you take another leg up. But what really happens is that we get a pullback, we get a consolidation, we get a retest, and it's long and drawn out after it goes parabolic. And I still have problems at that sometimes with the taking profit and then deciding to get back into a position. Yeah, I'm training myself to step away for a longer period of time before getting my buyback ends, because I can actually buy back cheaper, a lot cheaper, instead of deploying all my capital when it just comes back just a little bit. So we got Azero. Next one is Astara. Chris asked, when is alt season? Alt season is a little tricky right now because we're looking at Bitcoin dominance. And it always sounds dramatic when I say, we're on the edge of going one way or the other, but it's true. The best that I can tell from what I can see, alt season's not yet, but I am looking at this possibility when we went over with Bitcoin dominance in this bearish megaphone pattern, that we can come up to the top of it somewhere around 50% Bitcoin dominance. And what needs to happen is Bitcoin gets to a spot, and looking at that a little bit earlier, where'd you go, Bitcoin? In this area, if we can get above 31.5 or whatever in Bitcoin, this could easily range for a very long time between 30 on up to $40,000. I mean, we could spend months, maybe the rest of the year just ranging there if we can get up there. We just got to flip this area right over here as from resistance into support. That's what we're working on now. So right now, it looks like all eyes are going to be on Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. And what I was saying about Bitcoin, we're breaking bullishly out of a bearish pattern, and that is usually always parabolic movement. So I am looking for us to start blasting through these higher prices for Bitcoin, and then to range out, and then we might possibly get a decent altcoin season. But as I was saying earlier, total 2 looks pretty decent. So it's got a chance. We will see some increased prices with altcoins in the dollar amount, but Bitcoin is going to definitely outperform them. let's see. Let's get back to, we're at dominance. Is that what we're looking at? So that's what I'm looking at. We'll get a lot of things going into Bitcoin, and then hopefully when we get up here, may get rejected. Now, if here's a crazy situation that could happen, you know, you got the guy from CoinGase calling for $1 million Bitcoins by July. If price comes up and breaks bullishly out of this bearish pattern, way parabolic. And that's possible because we got this, you know, the kind of triple bottom idea that we looked at over here on, are we already off it? Can I back up and get it again? Over Bukowski's triple bottoms there. And it's actually got more like 4 touches there. This could go. We might be really surprised. I don't want to throw that out there too heavy right now, but I mean, it's a possibility. If the dominance shoots up above 50, let's say it gets to 51, that may very well happen. But more than likely, we will get rejected there with the Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin trade sideways, and then we might get a pretty nice little altcoin season. That's what I'm looking for. And, you know, time-wise, this is April 10th already. Man, I'm actually looking for something good with alts this next week. So in the next week or two, yeah, we should have a good opportunity to take some profits on some altcoins. And no problem, Chris. Appreciate you. And let's see, we did Azero, we did Astara, I believe, right? I think I'm misspelling that. Oh, we have not looked at Astara. This is another one that I kind of like, that I'm trying to build up a little position in spot. And another one that I'm actually down on. My MexC spot position, I'm actually in profit overall, but I've got several of them that are just, you know, they didn't pan out as well as I had hoped on them. They're just down a little bit, 10, maybe 15%. But that gives us the time to do more accumulation. Astara, I think this was the one that, if I remember correctly, this is the one that was teaming up with Sony? Yeah, I'm kind of in a symmetrical triangle, not crazy about that. And it looks like it's got a little bit more sideways action to go over this week. That is bullish. See the 9 crossover the 50, so sideways and then eventually up. But man, I don't even have any targets on here, do I? So 41.57 and 45.36. Would love to see 56 there or 64 cents. But with this one, I think that just may take a little while. One that I like, that I did not expect this from, it's a project called Bamboo. I think it's Bamboo Finance. And I was just going by the charts when I got into this. I just saw a pattern, liked it, got into it. And did not get in as much as, you know, I just threw a little bit in there. And that guy's been doing pretty good. Your own MexC right here, Bamboo. This little guy's just been going up. I mean, it's a nice little rounding pattern. It's, I guess, slowly in a parabola there, but man, it spiked up to, where was that? Almost 7.5 cents there. Currently at 3.5 cents. You know, spike back down. I just like the rounding bottom and what I saw on the charts, and sure enough, it got the explosive move up there. But it's just like it's just gradually climbing up. Now it may have jumped the shark right now. Take a look at that. Yeah, it has. So actually, this is probably a good time for me to take profit in this little guy. Take profit or not? Got a thickening Ichimoku cloud. MACD says take profit. Stochastics say wait. I might change my mind. 100 is crossing the 200 on the daily. So in a situation like this, I want to come down to the 4 hour. It's kind of parabolic. But I think that parabola would actually be, I think it's probably still in that parabola. That's a weak parabola. Let's try it on the daily. Now that looks a lot better. So are we, well, technically, yeah, on that one. Okay. So am I getting out of this or am I holding on to it? Holding on to it. I definitely do see this one coming down a little bit. But it's been a really nice performer. I'm going to wait and watch on this little guy after I take half profit. So my one lesson that I learned that I like to share is when I close the positions, when I first started, I was, went all in at a certain price and came all out at a certain price. And I've just learned just to sell half. If you're confused, don't know what to do, and it can go one way or the other, I go half, either buying half or selling half. And right now, taking profit on that one is in my interest, and I'm going to do that right now. 50% sell, boom. All right, come back to the chat for a minute. I got about a 35-second delay between me talking and you guys hearing it. So if you guys send a chat, give me a minute to respond there. Do you have a top 3 AI coins? Alternatively, how do you think the ETH hard fork for this week will affect ETH and other altcoins? I've really not given much thought to their hard fork. It's a big thing, usually a big thing. The biggest thing that ETH has got going for it right now is deflationary. That's what changed my mind on ETH. Even with the expensive gas fees and things like that, it being deflationary, that's the game changer for ETH. And hopefully they'll keep that up. But ETH is going to take off at some point. It is going to freaking explode because of that. So the hard fork, I have not deep dived into that. I've seen some things. Was it Shanghai? But usually the things like that turn out well. It's usually buy the rumor, sell the news. Price will go up, and then when the news or the event happens, there's usually a little bit of a sell off. And that's just normal. I don't think it. I don't have any bad news or anything that I know about that, but I haven't been looking for it. I just pretty much been looking by the charts. And let's take a look at ETH. This is Bitstamp. I know I got you somewhere. I got ETH right here. I did that one earlier today. I think it's got some promising signs. Possibility of us coming down and maybe making an inverted head and shoulders. It's, just up to a possible neckline right now. Should probably go ahead and take that off. Don't want that to be misinterpreted. There we go. But ETH has got a chance. If it can break bullishly out of this pattern, it can do like Bitcoin and the sucker will take off. I'm on the daily here, and indicators are saying, hey, we can go up, man. It was wanting to go up. I'm seeing that as being a very real possibility that ETH will start moving up to around this area, about 23.74. So it's got to break above, what is this high? About 1942. Got to see it close a candle above that. do that, and it's a very real possibility this sucker's going to shoot up. But if we lose this area, start coming down, and look at the bottom of the pattern and possibly breaking down below. But one thing I'll point out is that in this pattern, this right here is a bear trap, and when a bear trap comes back into the pattern, price action comes back into the pattern, strong move. Usually always a strong move up to at least the top of that pattern. I think from what I'm seeing on the chart, ETH has got a good chance to take off, so I don't think a hard fork is going to be bad news for it at all. And let's see, top three AI coins that I like. Well, this one was kind of interesting, not so much for its AI potential, I guess. AGIX, that's my biggest one. And I was big on that in October. I was big on that in the last bull market too. And it had, it had some legs in the last bull market. I don't think it got higher than where it is now though. And it's doing very well now. 2 billion maximum supply. So, this guy can reach anywhere from maybe $3 to $8. So I do like Singularity.net. LPT is another one that I'm liking. Fetch AI. And these kind of been kind of lackluster, and it's just because they had their big run up. They had their parabolic move, and now we go through that pullback time, that reconsolidation phase, which just seems to take forever. And it's hard to let go of all these excited emotions when you see it coming down, because we see price dropping and think, oh, good time to buy. Good time, still goes lower. So AGIX, Fetch AI, or iChain, those would be my top three that I'm looking at. Got my eyes open for others. AGIX, they actually do actual working stuff. Some of these other things that are coming out are, a lot of them can just be hype. So as far as a solid project, those are the ones I'm looking at. Or iChain, this actually came up today. So it's doing well. This one, total supply, 19 million. Right? Circulation supply, 2 million. Market cap, 8.2 million, still low market cap. I think this one can really, really go up there. And it's got DeFi, and I've been playing with that. I've got this stuff I pulled all this out of the exchanges and staked it, and put it into DeFi. And there's some cool things going on. And I like that it's also built on Cosmos SDK. So those are my top three for AI. Orachain's actually doing something. AGIX, I know they got a major. Ben Gertzel has got some. He's a visionary. Put him up there, kind of up there with Elon, as far as seeing things and just having a vision for the future. He's a smart man. And then Fetch, honestly, with Fetch AI, I have not really done much of anything with that. So if I were going to drop one, Fetch AI would be the first one I would drop, because I really haven't done a whole lot of digging in on that project. That one I'm in just speculative, but I'm actually very sold on AGIX and really, really like ORAI. Biden Fiddle says, checking in, hope not too late. No, not late at all. And nice movement. Yeah, today has been an awesome day. I hope it'll keep up. Yes, if you have time, can you look at NXRA? I looked at that earlier today, and I'll be happy to do it again. Anything you guys want to see, I will do that. Did that one early on the live stream. Let's see how it's doing now. Or did that on my earlier today live stream, about 1 o'clock. And this is to Ethereum. That's not what I'm looking for. There we go. And we came up to the 618 area, got rejected there with that wick, as that's what we were expecting on that. So we broke it out of a falling wedge, so that's good. It's just been trading sideways. It's made a double bottom, or possibly even a triple bottom area here. We flipped this area right here. Let's get this little guy. And those wicks of that body there. Let's get a cool color. I don't know, let's go with red. Yeah. What happened? Let's go with blue. So this has been a great accumulation range. You see, it was resistance here, and then it flipped as support here. Support resistance flips. We kind of lost it, but we stayed with the bottom area. So we lost the top area for support, but we've got support on the bottom, and that's held for 3 taps right there. So we're looking good. This one should just slowly make its way up. There is a measured move. A couple of those. Conservative one would be right here. And put that at the breakout area. No, I've already got it over here. Okay. That takes us up to just a little under 9 cents. And then the more crazy one, which could very well play out, this particular pattern, it could be what we call an AB equals CD type situation, taking the measure move from here, putting it up, and that actually gives us confluence at this 618 area at 12.8 cents. So for the main big long-term target, I say long-term, for like a swing trade over the next possible month, could take us a month to get there, looking about 12 cents. For the shorter term time frame, I'd be looking at 9 over, say, the next week or so, probably getting up here, and then possibly up to 10 cents. But it looks good. It's really looking good. I do have a little bag of that I like. When Alliance Blockchain was going south during all that, and I put in a low ball offer, and apparently it got hit, and then everything disappeared from KuCoin. They took everything. You couldn't trade it or anything, and I didn't even know what I had or how much I had, and I don't remember putting $75 in, and then when I got my bag back, it was about $350 worth, so I'm not complaining there. So I got a little bag of it. Oh, no. If you on my stream, I don't mind to look at something again. I just throw it out there for, I don't know, whatever reason. And it's just kind of cool to see how things change during the day, right? I have no problems looking at any requested coin. Let's see. I'm just going down the little list on my spot portfolio over here on MexC. So my overall portfolio, now what I do, I've got my ledger and I've got everything over there. My strategy is to be mostly heavy into Bitcoin. So I'm at least 50%. I would say that I'm more like 65% probably in Bitcoin. And about 10% maybe in ETH of that. Together, Bitcoin and ETH make up probably about 70% of my total portfolio. And it sounds kind of boring to do that, but that's actually where you're going to get some solidity, especially a good tactic if you're using margin, which I might get into in just a minute, but it helps your portfolio not drop huge. When Bitcoin drops, man, those altcoins are going to tank. So Bitcoin drops a little bit, and the altcoins usually in the bear market drop, 90 to 99%. I mean, you just pretty much give up all your gains. And so that just helps me to keep it level. I don't like seeing my numbers go down a lot. And, the whole reason that I do altcoins is to build Bitcoin. In the end, Bitcoin is king. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but dude, nobody's going to take the throne away from Bitcoin. It's just not going to do it. It got the fair start, and the rest of them don't do that. So let's see. So Nexera, yeah, all the measure moves I got there should come out well. I mean, I got some higher targets, don't I? Another target up here. It's blue, so it should be a measured move. I honestly don't remember how I got that target. Maybe it's a Fibonacci. Probably is a Fibonacci. It is a Fibonacci, a 618 area. That should be yellow. Switch those around there. So this trend line does not come up to the 618 area. It comes up to the 382 area. There's still a possibility that we could make it up to 14.3 cents. How do I not see that? Unless, there you were. Okay, I believe that's how it happened. You can take fibs from different portions, whatever legs going up, swing low to swing high, or swing high to swing low. There's different ways to do that, and you'll notice that you'll start getting some confluence. Like you'll get a bunch of your 618s kind of, or harmonic, or multiples of those 618s. You'll see them all start show up in one little area, and that just gives you more confluence that, hey, there could be, that will actually be a good target. And you're quite welcome, Banyan. You're welcome, sir. Let's see, what's another one on MexC that's really been performing well for me? Let me just look at it that way. There was one, and man, I did not. Enjin Starter. ENJS. Man, I wish I went heavy on that one. Oh, I really do. Some of these, I mean, when I'm degenning, you know, I don't have a very big account over MexC. Most of mine is over on a old KuCoin. And then I've got a KuCoin account set up for this channel, and I'll pull that up in just a minute, because there's some cool stuff I'm trying to actually do here to actually teach with that account and with the trading. But on MexC, man, EJS, that guy, he's also on Gate.io too, isn't he? That one's just been, I mean, it's hard to see it on the 4 hour, but I mean, it's just been a slow, steady gainer. I'm up 51% on that. So that's been cool. And unfortunately, I didn't put very much in there at all. But the tiny amount that I did put in there is up 51%. So I guess those are bragging rights. But man, it's got, let's look at this one on the daily. Rounding shape there. You'd think it'd slow down at some point, but these little spikes there, these coins being so, having such low liquidity, it doesn't take much to get those spikes up. So a good strategy on some of these coins is just stack your limit orders, your sell orders, take profit orders, and just, you know, every once in a while you get lucky and get those spikes, and they'll fill them all, and then you can come down and do it all again. But this one's showing some signs that it's wanting to break out there. From what I see here, it looks kind of sideways, but this also showing signs that it wants to do something really soon. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one this week. And it having that wick kind of throws me off a little bit, but we should play that, and it should at least get up to just a little under 0.0095. But it has been a good performer. I've just been impressed with it. Banyan says, I think it's interesting that its total supply is now 850 million. Long term could be interesting price discovery. And I think, are we still talking about Nexera? Or Nexera? Where'd you go? Yeah, okay, we're still talking. Yeah, total supply is now 850 million long term. It could be. I do kind of like that. And circulating supply is 732, so most of that's out there. I like that. I like it when most of the coin is in circulation. I don't like those token unlocks and where they just dump on our heads. Although I've got to admit, this cycle right now, it hasn't been that bad, because I really expected Aptos just to dump, and I let that influence my selling of a big part of that bag. So a little bit too cheap. Did get the tops out of what was left of it. But man, I was wrong on that one. And OP didn't sell off as bad as I thought either. But usually, historically, when those token unlocks come, you know, it's a bloody day a lot of times. But it seems like there's some buy pressure out there. And I don't know if I looked at this one, but several people follow the channel that like XDB Digital Bits. And why is that not coming up? Crypto. XDB. And this poor little guy here, man, oh, it's just been devastated. But, man, a lot of people got a lot of hope in this, and I hope it works out, but I'm not trying to be critical of it, but you know, it's got some red flags and that I'm watching very closely. But man, this sucker just flatlined. But it's a layer 1 based off of Stellar. It's a fork of Stellar, XLM. And so that's got me curious, you know, if it was a token on a chain, if this was a ERC20 or something like that, I would, oh, this is going to rug pull. But it being a layer 1, I'm like, you know, it does make sense to rug a layer 1. So maybe it's just beat down to the ground. I mean, things can build on it. It's geared around soccer, sports and things like that. And I think that's what really gave it all of its hype back over there. But what I've got to see with XDB for me to feel comfortable with it is got to reclaim this area, this red line here. And until I see that happen, I mean, this guy can go down, right? It can just go to zero. And coins do that in the bear market. You'll see that. And it's very disappointing. One that did well in the bull market and then suddenly in the bear market, they're just gone. You know, especially if they're not building, right? And this project has not been building. So that's just one of the things I've been looking at. But it looks like it's trying to bottom here. Let's hope that it does. It also looked like it was trying to bottom here. It also looked like it was trying to bottom over here. It looked like it was trying to bottom a lot of places, and it didn't. So with XDB, I've got to see it flip this into support, and that is right, 18.19 or 0.0019 cents. But there are a ton of these coins out there, and if you pull up the order book on this on your exchange, man, at the sale, these are stacked millions and millions and millions, 25 million on top of 25 million, just stacked all the way up, especially traded against Bitcoin. So I mean, it's just nothing but sell pressure. So whoever's selling, they have them all and they're dumping them, just a whole wall all the way down. All right, see what's happening over here. Looks like we got a little price drop there. Things are going down. KAS was interesting. I was doing some leverage trading with that and did real good, and then lost a lot of it. Because that little sucker is very volatile. But it was fun. I'd probably try it again if I see it going on another up. Ooh, it may be doing it. May have to look into this. But it looks like it's, indicators are saying it's starting to get a little tired there. So if we pull from this swing low, as it bounced off the 382, now that's a good sign. Pull from the actual impulse move we got here, didn't quite make it down to the 618. So it could still do that. But overall, it looks pretty decent. Looks like it might go just a little bit sideways, but it looks like it's getting ready to do something. I like that it's on the 4-hour and staying above this 9 moving average, and I like that 21's getting ready to cross bullshit over that 50. That's good. 100's pointing up too. Just gotta get the 50 just to get on board. So get a little bit of sideways and up, and this one will start curving up, and everything will start curving up, and I think we got some upward motion there. But it'll probably take this one a little bit to do that. It wants to come down and go sideways for a little bit, so maybe retesting 0.032 area. All right, now, so I pretty much went over the coins I'd planned on doing. Let's see what else. Can I bring this over? Is this going to fit? And you guys can see that, right? Okay. No? What happened? There we go. This is my KuCoin account that I got for the channel, and I think I set this up back in October and November. Was going to try to do some things and maybe just do some, I don't know, trading, scalping, things like that, and do it, save it for live streams and things. And a lot of it I have not messed with. There was, I think in the trading account, I did make some purchases, and they're all still there. I got some Ethereum, ADA, and I need to go through this and kind of thin this out and straighten it out, because I really haven't done anything with this. They've just been sitting there doing nothing. Futures have been doing pretty awesome. This has helped me learn a lot about that, because on this account, you know, it's on my computer, so I use the ones I access on my phone most of the time. So I wasn't as active on this, and that turned out to be a good thing. So me being less active, keeping up with these trades, actually helped me, you know, do pretty well on this. I just put $200 in on this, and it's up to 600. Yeah, 600 on value on futures. So it's 3x'd. So I can't complain about that. I wish I could say that on my other futures account, but that showed that I was over trading on my other account. So it's a little lesson I learned there. I don't claim to be an expert futures trader, but I'm finally getting to the point where I'm not losing. I'm actually starting to win now. So I'm passing my own test that I would do. And if I was teaching somebody, those are the same tests I would give them too. Start out on spot. Make sure you can double your positions or double your amounts on spot. Get good at that. Then, you know, apply that on futures, trading with tiny amounts until you get it. But man, I tell you, you get confident in that and think you got it figured out, it will spank your ass every time. And you've got to keep those stop losses going. As soon as you're in the green, you got to move a stop loss to profit. And that's just been what's working for me. Show my positions here somewhere. It looks like I got stopped out. One of them got stopped out. Let's take a look. And I'm trading with small amounts here. Actually, I wanted to go bigger on this last trade. I was doing a position thing. I was trying a different strategy on this also, where I'm using these Bollinger Bands. And right now, with what it's done today, it took off and left the playing field. But they give you it's kind of a set and forget strategy that I'm using over here on this account, so I don't have to mess with it. And I'm putting buys in on my Bollinger Bands and my sell limits there, and it's been working out really well. But and it's been doing pretty good. So, you know, I think I counted 34 wins and I think 17 losses. So that's not bad. I got a win. Got a good little supply of wins there in a row. Had a loss there. That was a decent win for me, about 27. Got my butt spanked here. Yeah, it just kept happening. And that's when you break the rules. When you break your rules, you get spanked. And sometimes you need that to happen to reinforce those rules. You can be on a winning streak. Okay, so I was starting to do a little bit better there. And things turned against me, and man, I don't like losing that much. It's not fun. Some of these were getting stopped out, but overall, you know, I would say that this latest strategy I've been using is where all these bigger wins have come from. And of course, you know, price doing well since when did this start? Mid-March. That also helped. But at some point, you know, I'd like to get on here and just do some some live trading, because sometimes I like to get on the 1 minute chart and I like to degen out on that. And I've lost my screen. So let me go over here to Bitcoin. And when I do this, now this is what, when I mentioned the KuCoin account, I was using a different strategy, using the Bollinger Bands and setting limit orders and building positions that way. You can only do 5x over there with an unverified account on that particular one. So that's why that strategy works good. Now, my other KuCoin account, I can get up about 20x leverage. So that's when I start implementing this 1 minute strategy. After I look at the bigger time frames, and get a feel for that, overall what's going, then I can zoom in on the smaller time frames, namely the 1 minute. And it's a fairly easy strategy. I'm not really doing pattern. I mean, I will do patterns. I'm looking for patterns, but I'm mostly looking at the trend line and doing Fibonacci's. And once that trend line's broken, I'm out. And then I'm trying to find a place to buy back in with my Fibonacci's, and it's been working out very, very well. And what do I think about Arbitrum? As a project, I mean, it's fast, it's free. Why do you need a token if it's free? What's the token going to do? It's governance. Oh, yay, I can vote. I got mixed feelings about Arbitrum. I'm not like the way that they handled their airdrop. I don't like the little picky things that they did. And that seems a little skewed to me, because the whole purpose of an airdrop is to disperse your tokens widely to as many people as possible, so it's decentralized. And looks like they were, kind of profiling a little bit and kind of targeting certain sectors or certain activity. And I can understand why they would do that, but that gets away from the whole purpose of an airdrop, in my personal opinion. So I'm interested in it. I had some money stuck on it forever, because KuCoin has that, and you can send money to it. And I tried to send some money from crypto.com to KuCoin, and literally it was stuck on that chain for about 6 months. And then magically, when KuCoin got their wallet straightened out, there it was. It showed up. So I wasn't freaked out. I knew that that's most likely what would happen. The other alternative is just to kiss it goodbye, which when you put the wrong address in, just assume that it's gone. But my hopes of getting that money back did work. As far as how Arbitrum looks, price action wise, still very new. And looks like what is this, a symmetrical? You can argue, I like candle bodies, so that's what I go with, but you could argue this is actually like a descending triangle. So either one of those could be valid. Looks like it's trying to get a breakout. So let's come to a smaller time frame. And now that's a good sign, getting a breakout. Going up through the red Ichimoku cloud, got a little bit of green over here. Good sign that, maybe breaking out there. So take a measured move. So Arbitrum could actually reach about 166, 168, right in that area from the measured move. Good target. Stochastics are kind of high on the 4 hour there, but they can stay there for a little while. Got to see some more volume come in just to push this up. Now we got rising price, and you got a little bit of volume. Okay, so a little bit of a pullback there. Let's come to a smaller time frame. And it's also in a rising channel just currently, but it's finding support there on the 9 moving average. What I do like, these moving averages getting bunched up here, and they're pointing up, and they're getting ready to cross in the bullish way. So this was getting ready to do something. It'll just likely come back down and retest these areas about 122. And it could even come down to ride this trend line down. I don't see it going much further than that though. To 120 maybe, but it looks like it's just it's getting ready to do something. It's getting ready to move. So it's not a bad time to, front run that, but if you wanted to be safe, you would. Breakout trading is kind of hard, and I don't usually do breakout trading. I look for the patterns, and I'm targeting the bottoms of the patterns. So breakout trading, when you do that, you get stopped out a lot, and it's annoying. It's annoying as hell. And you get faked out a lot. So price can come up and you say, woo, breakout, let's go in. And, comes back into the pattern, and that's very bearish. Drives all the way to the end of the pattern and maybe below it. Not fun. So the rule of the game to safeguard yourself is to wait for that retest. And it's hard to do that, especially if you're a new trader, because you just don't have that patience. It's hard to get that patience. So you wait for it to come back, retest that area, and you guys see it going to the upside. Then you jump in, not getting the greatest price. But with a breakout trading, you're not trying to get that perfect entry. You're just trying to get in the game as it's going up. And that's easy to miss sometimes when you're kind of new to the game. And you see a trade set up or someone talking about it, and instead of waiting for a confirmation, it's easy to hit that buy button. I'll just buy now, get in earlier, and then it doesn't play out. And from that point, a lot of times you get mad at whoever put the pattern out, but you got to remember there's rules on how to play these things, right? Wait for that confirmation, or there could be that fake out or the bull trap. But ARB's good to me. And would you consider doing a live stream about futures trading at some point? I definitely would. Make a trade in real time. Yeah, that's exactly why I set up that KuCoin account. I was looking at the charts right now. I don't see anything that I'm not the best time for me to be looking for one of those trades at the moment. Looking at, and I would be doing Bitcoin, because alts are trickier to trade when you're using futures. You can do well, but you got to pay a lot more closer attention to that. It's just easier to trade Bitcoin when it comes to that. But seeing we're at this breakout, what I would be looking at if I were trying to do that, and what I'm waiting on before I actually do, is for a retest of this line. So it's not going to just go straight up. It's going to have to come back, and then that's when I'm going to be looking at getting. I may even have some orders set somewhere around 29 to 29, 22, somewhere through there. Between 29,000 and 29,250, somewhere through there. That's where I'm looking at us getting back to. And then when we do that, is when I'd be looking at seeing if it's possible to get in on a futures trade. But right now, on the way up, the way it's doing, because it's, well, the easiest thing to do is look on the 1 minute. When I do the futures and stuff like that, that's where I'm always starting. It's got support right now. So it hasn't broke that trend line, so that it's got that going in its favor. It may continue to go on up, but still it's just too high for me to want to jump in. Chris says, what would you, oh, no, we just did that one. What time frame confirmation would you use to confirm a breakout? I think I answered that. If I didn't, if I'm doing perpetuals, perpetual futures, and let's see if we can clarify that. So I do some different types of trading, and I'll tell you, my futures are not my favorite. Now you can make some fast money with futures, but where you get the most bang for your buck is margin trading, the spot margin. That means, it's hard to get liquidated on it. It can happen. Extremely easy to get liquidated on futures. Too easy. But with margin, the spot margin, you can actually use this, and you can build bigger bags and build them quicker. And I think I've put some of that in on the Telegram group. Some examples of that, but regular margin is pretty cool and a lot safer to work with. But when it comes to perpetual futures, on that, 1 minute. I'm on the 1 minute. That's the only thing that works for me on that. That gives me the most control. So I want to look on a bigger time frame. Start at the daily, start at the 4 hour, look at the 1 hour, and see where we are. And so here I'm on the 4 hour, and we're extended, right? Stochastics are at the top, momentum waves at the top, VWAP starting to come down. This is showing we're tired, we're getting ready to come down. So this is not the time that I want to get on the 1 minute and start doing a trade unless I'm trying to short. Now, if I'm looking for a short, possibly. I just have a rule that when we're in a bull run or a bullish trend, don't go against the trend. I'm not going to short against that trend because it bites me in the butt. So the 1 hour's got a dot. It's starting to come down the stochastics. Money flow's still up. Now that's going to hinder price coming down when there's a lot of money flow in there. So those are some things I'm looking at, but I'm looking at those bigger time frames, and then come down to the 15 minutes, see what it's doing. Okay, 15 minutes stochastics are down at the bottom. It's starting to reset. So that's giving me a clue that it's wanting to try to do something. And that's when I come to the 1 minute, and then I actually look at the chart. And this little guy may be getting ready to take off again. So I got my trend line, and then, I play around with fibs. So if we get a bounce from there, I'd be looking for it to come up to 30,254 as a possible take profit area. And then I'm targeting my 127s and my 168s mostly. Now, I've actually got trades open. But, entering in down here would be fine. But I want to see this trend line break. Okay. That's where I'm at right now. And it's close to it. It may happen. And once it does, then I know we're coming down to another area. And then I'll look at where it finds support, and then I'll consider getting in there. But for perpetuals, 1 minute seems to be what works for me. So I guess you would call my strategy on that more like scalping, although it can turn into a longer trade though. If they do take off, and just keep putting my stop loss into profit, and that way if trade goes against me, it stops me out, I still won that trade. All right. And that's how I'm playing this game. I'm not looking at the money. I am trying to look at how to master these trades and how to get the most winning trades. And then I can look at how to get the most profitable winning trades. And that's been the strategy I've been using lately on this. Cannot find what I was going to show. Okay. Where'd you go? I think I lost you, man. Where'd you go? So the order history or whatever. I don't care if it's just a little bit amount. Okay. If it's 43 cents, I want that trade to be a winning trade. I want that in the green. So I just continually just move my stop losses up while they're in profit. And did I have that? I mean, like right now on this one, I got stopped out of one, so I lost that one. What happened to my stop loss? I know I set you on here. KuCoin does not have the most user-friendly browser-based exchange. I like their app. I use that a lot, but man, it's just hard to navigate on this little sucker sometimes. So take profit and stop loss, and is this trade still open? I have no positions. I got stopped out. Okay, so that's what happened. So I raised my stop loss up to I think, so we're below 30,000. Yeah, I was like 30,003 or something, like, I can't remember, but so I'll set my stop loss up. If it looks like it may be getting ready to turn around, I'll set that stop loss high and just take that profit, and I'll shave off profits on the way. So I sell a little bit as price starts going up and meeting those targets. But that's been the strategy. It's been working pretty well for me. Non-member says, howdy, I'm late. Oh, you're doing just fine. Glad to have you. Have you looked at POLX Polylastic? I haven't in a while, but in the trading group, the paid one that I'm part of, they've been looking at that one hard for the last few months. And I did have a trade there. I think I got out of that. But let's take a look at it. They're really big about that one. And I put those, I get a lot of those trade setups, and I go ahead and post them into our group, our Telegram group. If you guys don't know, it should be in the comments, a link there. But, this channel's got a group over there, lots of cool people over there. And what it is, I've got news and updates, and I just try to keep you updated on what's going on overall in the market and some things like that. Just an overall update thing. But then they're in, where are we at? On the top of that, the news and updates, if you go up there, there's some pinned messages, and that gives you access to the other groups or the other channels we got. So we've got the lounge, and this is basically our general chat where we just kind of communicate and throw some ideas around, keep in touch with each other. It's where all the cool kids hang out. And then we got this section over here called the chart room. And after I set this up, I found out, you can divide this up into topics. It's kind of like dividing up groups. That would have been easier to do that than to have 3 separate groups. I learned that late. So I've got a general, and I've just started posting the winnings and things like that, and maybe there'll be a conversation going on. But this is where the things I'm putting all the margin stuff. But then we have the setups, the actual chart setups. So over trade setups, these are some of the trade setups that I personally do, and like when I'm doing a video or something, I'll put them over here. And then also from a paid trading group, where their admins are throwing out these trade setups, I'm posting them here too. And the hope is, you can look at these and look how they're presenting this information, analyze how they're looking at these charts, and you can do that on your own charts. Use this as a learning tool. And so they're not necessarily meant to be signals, although, you can take the risk and trade them, or just watch how they play out. Taking the risk to trade them, do your due diligence, be smart about it, control your risk and everything. Some of them play out, some of them don't. I took them up on one of their QNT trades. It has not been very fun. Okay. But I thought, okay, I'll give you guys a try on that one. Because sometimes I like to look and see what other people are seeing. I'm not always right on everything. I think I do fairly well, but I take somebody else's trades up just to see what goes on. Didn't pan out for me. This one looked okay. The daily, it's been on a tear, hasn't it? Since what, March 22nd on POLX. Man, it still looks good. Just to be honest with you, drawing a trend line just on the daily, it's looking strong. So now come down to the 4 hour, take a look at it. So you've been, riding the green, the 9 moving average, and just retesting on the 21, and that's usually what you see out price action. When it falls out of the 21, if it really needs to do a retest, will come down to the 50, and normally that's as far as that you see it go when it's still got legs to keep, another move to be had. Now, if we lose the 50, it's usually sideways and down. So it's always good to see it routinely bounce off the 21, and every once in a while it'll come down and just find support at the 50. But it's still overall in this move, this trend line has not been broken. Still looks good. And if we do make a copy of it, see how it lines up over here, telling us if we got a channel. And that's what I see. Lines up really nice right there. I normally go from candle body to candle body. You can extend it to the wicks if you like. But that's what I'm looking at for POLX. 4 hours got the indicators looking good, so it looks like it's getting ready to come back up to the top of the trend line. That's 0.00315 in that area. Now, if I were going to look for some targets to shoot for, and it looks like we're getting ready to test this area, but this guy right here, what's that, 0.00379 in that area? That's going to be a little hard. So that's where it's going to get a hiccup, because it was support and support, fell below it, and then it flipped it right there. That little wick right there, that's when it became resistance, confirmed resistance. So that's going to be a little hard area to break above. And then we're looking at this area right over here, about 0.0067. And wow. Just trying to see if there's a place where I can pull a fib. I'm not seeing great places, so I'd have to take one from here. From this support resistance swing high down to the bottom there, and that could give us a little bit of information. Let's go ahead and pull this over to the side. And so we're having some trouble with the 618, and that's very much expected with Fibonacci. That's usually where you'll find your resistance there. It looks like it can get above it though. And there's some bearish divergence there where the price is going up, indicators coming down. Oh, okay. So I'm looking for a retracement, but it's got to break this bottom trend line before that happens, and it doesn't look like it's wanting to do that right now. So I'd say we're getting a leg up, and we'll probably have to redo this Fibonacci on there. But just from what we got, swing low to swing high right now, you know, 0.00137 possibly come back there. Even averages are telling me that, I mean, I'm not finding confidence with that on that 618. Maybe in time the 50 will come up there. It is holding very well right now. I'm not seeing anything bearish right now. Ichimoku Cloud, you know, is thin, spindly, saying that we still got some room to go up. MACD looks a little hesitant. Check these smaller time frames real quick. It's looking good in the immediate future, so I'm seeing coming up to this 0.00031 area. Maybe get rejected there, and then we may follow this pattern. But for right now, those shorter term targets are looking pretty decent. So it still looks strong to me at the moment. Now let me do one thing here. We got that, and that was an AB equals CD move, or just a typical breakout. Could be happening again, and would it be possible? That would be your breakout. We may actually get up here to this trend line, 0.00037. That would be a good target in my mind, somewhere in that area. But it's looking strong at the moment. Hey, there's Grizz. How you doing, Grizz? Grizz said he bought 20,000 opacity last night. Good for you, man. Let's check that out. How's opacity doing? I think I looked at it earlier on my earlier stream this morning or this afternoon. I think. But we'll take a look at it right here. So yeah, I like this project. I mean, I'm a little concerned about the development and things like that, but it's a working project right now. And of course, you know, a couple years ago, the founder, the main developer or whatever, had a few issues, just life problems. They have to take time off to deal with life. But I like it. But it's in a good sector. It's in storage. It's a working product. Obviously, they got third-party developers that work with that. But this whole sector will, I think, will do well. I'm going to keep my eye on this closer. This is kind of like a lottery ticket. But I still have some faith in this project, even with the hardships the developer went through a couple years ago. I think it was health related or something. But there's also the hype factor, and most of your coins in crypto, it's hype and marketing that drives them forward, and that's it. And so when this whole sector goes off, you can bet that this one's going to go off with it. So I've got faith in this project. I do like this rounding bottom shape, and this is one of my holy grail patterns right here, rounded bottom with the falling wedge in it. It takes a while to play out, okay? But when it does play out, it does it very nicely. It usually has some really nice, strong price action. A lot of times it goes parabolic. So with this coin, you know, we're just kind of in that we're still in that accumulation phase. People are still accumulating this. So it's looking good. I'm still looking at that measured move target at 5.5 cents. Don't know when it's going to get there. It could take it a while, but I do have faith in this project. Now, I don't know if I'll try to hold it to $80 or whatever it might possibly do, or try to get back to its all-time high. Just have to take that as it goes, but it's got a good possibility to do some damage, man. wow, I've got so many targets on the shorter term time frame, but I've got it at least up to about 14 cents there as one target that I'm looking for. And so to come from a penny, and where are we at now? A little over a penny to 14 cents, 14x, I can deal with that. I can throw a little money in this thing and just let it sit back and do what it does. But I like the project. Chris says I'm late, I have to watch the replay. Okay, I don't mind a bit looking at anything. Even if I go over it a couple of times, I got nothing else to do right now. And tokens, not dollars. Oh, if you did 20,000 into it, woo, yeah. That's a nice little sum right there, 20,000. On some of these degen coins, I mean, you know, I've got anywhere from say 20 to 50 bucks in some of these projects, or maybe up to maybe as much as 500. I don't throw a huge amount of money into any of these smaller accounts, but I want a taste of it. I want a little bit of it. And if I can get a moon bag, I'm really happy. And that's my overall goal, is to get a moon bag. And if I can't make a moon bag out of them, well, I'll look at selling some of them off. But we're at that point in this whole market cycle with Bitcoin. This is the time to, you know, try to do those moon bags, everything you can, pull your capital out, let that baby ride, and then take that money, you put your capital out, do some other trades or build some other positions. It's just, we seriously are in crypto at one of the best times. Even better if you were in December. Got the Bitcoin chart back up here in this. Now, seeing on the daily, got this nice little rounded structure going there. You could even say, maybe fit our holy grail pattern right there. We got the rounded bottom. Could even drawn it up here some. Falling wedge, woo. And we got the breakouts. I'm always looking for that. And this is the only time in the cycle that you can usually find this. And so since November and October, a lot of my positions that I've built, this was the pattern that I was building them off of. And Chris says he likes the tiny market cap. Yes. Yeah. And hopefully they'll move. I hope the same thing. You've got to take some chances in the bear market, you know, throw a little money out there that you can afford. You know, I've less than 5% of my total portfolio, I guess, or definitely less than 10% is what I've got out here on my accounts that I'm just largely degening in, and I kind of overdid it. I try not to get in way too many projects, but I know that that's a weakness of mine, so I just didn't allow myself to put as much money into those accounts to do that. But what I did put in there, man, I've got it spread thin on some of these, because you just have to learn how you are, and you know, it's hard to change behavior, so if you know you got a problem with it, find another way around it. All right, guys. It is midnight my time. If you guys got anything, I think we're still got about a 30-second delay between when I speak and you guys get it. Give you a minute if you want to request anything. If nothing comes through, we'll just call this a night. I was hoping Donna would show up tonight and we'd go over the margin trading a little bit. That's something that she was interested in learning about, and we just kind of just barely touched on it tonight. But I found this to be very helpful, just the spot margin, and KuCoin has it, MexC has it. I have not tried it on MexC, but I'm sure, I'm really starting to like the exchange a lot more. Just being able to get the information that they give you, knowing what your average buy-in price is. I mean, that's crucial, man. I don't see why all these exchanges don't do that. I'm not trading that over here. But I use two different kinds in the margin account. I use the cross margin, which, you know, some people look at that kind of bad. It's kind of like your regular spot trading account, where you can take your money and you can put into however many coins you want to, right? And the oscillated, is this going to give me what I need? I can find myself a way around here. Sometimes this is just confusing to use. Is this it? Well, let me find my account. Well, damn. Let's go with the wallet. Or maybe this will do it. Okay, here's my margin account. I've got isolated, and I think I've just got Bitcoin, USDC. I did have OP there, but I think I sold all that out. And so this year, you can put it all in just, one trading pair, but the cross margin gives you it gives you more leeway. And as a basis for this, I like to put most of my money into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you can see what happened. Ethereum soaked up all my Bitcoin, so now I've got an imbalance, but that's one reason I structured it that way. Ethereum will go up. It will outperform Bitcoin at some point, and I will get all that Bitcoin back and hopefully more profit. So this is my basic layout that I've got, and then I'll pick another coin. In this case, I got an XRP. On my other KuCoin account, I've got probably about another 15 different ones, and I work that different ways because as you get more profit in here and your debt ratio shrinks, I can pull this thing out. I can take this XRP, watch this. So I can use the money that I put in on a cross margin account when, getting profit and I'm doing good. I can build up some bags here. And if I want to, when my debt ratio gets down, transfer them out, put them over to the main. And I'll do that now. You're going to let me do that, right? Cross margin. So I've got 928 XRP. Move them over. And so now I got a free bag of XRP and my debt ratio is 45%. So I'm still good on my debt ratio. As long as you stay about 68, stay under 70, try to keep it under 70, you're doing good. When you get over that and something goes bad, you'll see the sucker go up to 80 to 90, hits 96, you're liquidated. You've lost everything. And that was a painful lesson to learn a couple of years ago. So I'm paying really close attention to this debt ratio. But so I just got my bag of XRP, put it over into my main wallet. I did that with YFI too, I believe, and just pulled it over here. So and it's basically free money if you can do it that way. And so that's one thing I was going to show how to do on some of these live streams too. Chris says, thanks, Dawg. No problem, Chris. Thanks for showing up, man. Benny said, KuCoin Grid Bot is effective for anything super choppy. Link over the past year is a decent example. I've not tried that. They do look interesting. I do like bots. I've got a bot, actually one that I purchased, but I haven't used it in a couple of years. It's one that's actually on a different computer, and you can actually set it up. The deal was, my problem with it is that I didn't understand how to trade when I had the bot. And so you got to know how to, I think I could do a lot better now, because now that I know how to read charts, now that I know what technical analysis is, I could probably program that thing a lot better than letting it do its own little thing. And then you got to bots on the exchanges, and a lot of them do the grid bots. The style that I'm doing or one strategy I'm using on KuCoin, it's a kind of a grid strategy. But I hear that some of their bots do pretty good. I have no problem with bots. My only problem was that I just did not fully understand how to program that, or what even to program into it now. But the one I got is called Gunbot, and I think I paid like a quarter of a Bitcoin. Let's see, when was that? Back in 2020, maybe 2019, 2020. But it's kind of cool, really versatile. They usually update it, and you can make it do whatever you want. Okay, well, I've lost what I was trying to do there. But I do think margin is a good tool. It just kind of figure it out how to do it safely, and hopefully I can, help share that, what I've learned anyway. All right, guys. I don't see any other requests, so I'm going to bid you guys good night. Thank you so much for showing up.
For those of you out
Very
there
much
that
appreciate you
hit
coming
that
out.
like,
If you could just hit the like button,
Thank you
and
very much.
if you got a comment or anything you want to leave, that also helps the stream. Trying to get these live streams out there to get a little more attention to them. Trying to be a little bit more consistent, and hopefully I'll start doing some live streams more. You may see them pop up a little bit more. I'm going to do one at least every Monday, maybe Fridays during the day. I'd like to do it at 8 or 9 in the morning, but I'm not a morning person. That's not worked out, and that's why they come in around 2 o'clock. So, and then the night ones, my time, I'm starting somewhere around 10, 11 o'clock. And so I'll try to post those up earlier, help you guys, give you a little bit of a heads up, and you guys can stop by. But appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate your support. Just trade carefully, but it's looking good, babies. 30,000 Bitcoin. Love it. I think we may be pleasantly surprised, at least with Bitcoin. It will take altcoins a few minutes to catch up. Till next time, I'll see you later, guys. Appreciate it.
I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.